Hi everyone, welcome back. In this video I'm going to be talking about creating the bed sheet. Right, if you take a look at our CA objective, we have this very kind of simple with a fold at the top kind of bed sheet. Now, so in order to do this kind of folds easily, right, there's a trick to it, and that's what we call extrude, okay, on edges. All right, so or extrude on curve, right? And to do this, right, we need to first create the shape of that fold, right? And by doing this, we can actually use, if you go to create at the top here, okay, you can go and find what we call the curve tool. Now the curve tool that we want to use is called the EP curve tool. So I'm just going to click on the EP curve tool. Right, now it's much easier if I draw my curve from the orthographic view, because if you are going to draw the curve on the perspective view, okay, because it's a 3D space, it may start to draw in a haywire kind of manner. So I'm just going to press the space bar. Right, I'm going to go to my front view, which is here. So mouse over the front view and just press space bar again. Right, so you can start to see our objects here. Now if you are irritated by, okay, this is the grid, okay, you can see the grid here, right? There's many boxes here. If you're irritated by it, right, what you can do is, let me just go out from the curve tool first. Okay, you can go up here, right? You can see that this is highlighted. This is, if you mouse over, it's called the grid. Just click on it, okay, if you just toggle the grid on and off. Right, so I'm just going to off that. I'm going to go back to the create curve tool, EP curve tool, remember. Now what I'll do is, and if I cannot see, okay, my wireframe, okay, in the, like the previous video, I'm just going to click on wireframe on shaded. Okay, so I'll start to draw the blanket from the bottom, okay, which is much easier. Now, so I'm just going to click here. So one, okay, now this is just like tracing or drawing a line. So I'm just going to put one here at the pen, okay, two, and then I'm just going to go on top of the mattress. Okay, so we can, okay, if for example you start to click somewhere that you do not want, you can just press Z and press Z again. Okay, just move one step back. I'm just going to continue to draw my curve down here. Now somewhere here, what I'll do is I'm going to start to do a U-turn. Okay, so I'm going to go up and around. Okay, if it's too rigid, okay, let's go back. Okay, I can start to draw again. Let's see how we can draw this into a very nice kind of U-turn. There you go. I'm going back a little bit to the front. Once you are done with drawing your curve, you can just press enter. Right, that will actually create our curve. Okay, this particular line over here, okay, in Maya we call it the curve. Okay, if I go back to my perspective view, let's turn on wireframe on shaded, this particular view. Right, I can see my curve. Okay, let me bring the curve to the middle of the bed. Okay, there you go. Okay, just do a little bit of aggravation. Now the next thing I want to do is I want to just create a simple cube. Okay, so I'm creating a simple cube. Now this particular cube, okay, what we want to look at is the thickness of it. Okay, this is going to be the thickness of our particular mattress. Okay, so if you think that this is too thick, okay, depending on here, right, it's thick but it's not that thick. Right, so what I'll do is I'll just scale it down a little bit. Okay, just I'll do a sample first. So maybe I'll go with this size over here. Now what we want to do is we want to put it at the start of your line, okay, or your curve. Okay, if you start to draw the curve from the bottom, okay, you have to bring this cube to that particular point there. Now, so for me, I find it's easier if I use the orthographic again. Okay, so let's work with this. Let's zoom in. Now there's another zoom in function that you can use, which is the F button on the keyboard. You press F is for focus. We just zoom into the particular object that you select. Alright, so now I'm just going to bring this guy down. Okay, now the next thing I want to do is also I want to make sure that one of the sides, okay, one of the face is looking in the direction of the starting curve here. So what I'll do is I'll just rotate it. Okay, alright, I'll rotate it just to make sure that it's kind of looking in this direction. Okay, now I still find that maybe my thickness is a little bit too much here, so we can bring it down a bit more, right? Okay, or whichever. Okay, you can also do uniform scale if you want, right? And then just bring this back there. Okay, so you can see my cube kind of touches the line here. Okay, with this particular face, right, in the direction of the starting curve. Okay, so now let's go back to perspective view. Okay, now from the top view it may not necessarily be at the curve, right? So I'm just going to need to bring it around. Okay, press F to focus. Okay, we can kind of see that you can put the line, starting line somewhere in the middle of that face. Now here's the trick. If you want to extrude on the curve, what you do is you select the face first that you want to extrude. So in this case, I'm going to right click, select face. I'm going to select this particular face here. Okay, so I select this particular face, press shift, select the curve. Right, so now the face is highlighted, the curve is also highlighted, and the next thing I'll do is I'll just click extrude. Right, automatically you see that particular face is extruded straight to the ending point of the curve, right, in a linear straight line. Now for us to make sure that it follows the curve itself, okay, we need to increase the division. Okay, you can enter a value, or you can just click on the word division and drag. Okay, the higher my division are, okay, the smoother my extrude is going to be. If I have very few, okay, very few division, you can kind of see when it goes in the loop over here, when it U-turns, it's kind of squashed. Okay, so the higher the division, okay, the better it's going to look. Okay, so I'm just going to keep it maybe about 25. It's fine. Okay, so I have a very nice curve. Okay, if you click and drag 25 is the maximum, you can also enter a value if you want. Okay, higher than 25, maybe 30. Okay, now, so once this is done, I just click somewhere outside. Okay, here, right? Okay, there you go. Now, so what we have here is, okay, we have that starting cube. Okay, we select the face, and now the face has been extruded on the particular curve. So this is what we call the extrude with curve. Right, now the next thing, what can I do with this? Okay, let me kind of fix the shape first, okay, before I do anything else. Now how do I fix the shape? Okay, I can actually reselect that line. Maybe I press 4. Okay, 4 on the keyboard, we change to the wireframe mode. Okay, now I know it's going to be a bit mind-boggling here, okay, but try to find that curve. So you just do a select on that curve itself. Okay, now you can right click. Okay, right click the curve. Now the curve have some form of different menus when you right click it. Okay, for example, there's this thing called the control vertex instead of the vertex, okay, that we usually see with the polygons. Okay, so control vertex, right click it, right? I can control the points of the curve. Okay, it's in these little tiny pink dots, right? So what I'll do is I can select this dot. Okay, press shift, select this particular dot here, over here as well. Okay, I think there's one here. There you go. Now let me press 5 to go back to the shaded mode. Now, so with the curve control vertices being selected, I can push them down. As you change the shape of the curve, okay, bear in mind the shape of the object, okay, or the polygon also kind of change in the position itself. So you can always extrude first, and then you can kind of work with the shape of the curve later, right? And that will still give us a very nice kind of control, okay, on the polygon object. Okay, it's kind of squash here. Let's see how I can make it a little bit better. Okay, let me go back to wireframe, find this particular control vertex here, push this down a little bit more. Okay, now I'm not too worried with the intersection here at the moment, right? Let me see if this is okay. Alright, cool. Now, so I go back to object mode. Okay, so the next thing I can do with this is, right, once I have the shape done out already, okay, what I'll do next is I'll select the faces of this polygon object. I'm going to select the side faces, so I'm just going to double click it, so it's going to select in a loop. Okay, but one thing for sure, okay, what I want to do is I want to start extruding on both sides. Okay, but with in order to do that, I'm just going to press Ctrl and deselect, okay, the end faces. There's one here and there's one here as well. Press shift, press Ctrl and deselect them. So now I'm just selecting the side faces, right? And what we'll do, we just click extrude and let's just pull it out. Okay, don't know if this is in the center of the bed. Well, we can kind of just have a look at it. Okay, right, so maybe I just pull a little bit more. And if you want to work with soft objects, something like the pillow, okay, you need to have the subdivision. So the extrude, I can increase the division. That's going to give us a little bit more control. Okay, maybe 14 is enough. Okay, if I'm happy with it, I'm just going to change to the move tool. Right, and with that, I've created my blanket. Okay, now let's go back to object mode. Right, but it's still a bit squarish, right? So I just press number 3. Okay, and I press 3. Remember, it changed to the soft selection mode. Alright, and I have something like that. Okay, if I remove the wireframe on shaded, there you go. Okay, let's go back to the bookmark. Right, I have my folded what you call that, bedsheet. Right, now if you want to make it a little bit even more soft, okay, and realistic, then you can kind of just select the faces, right, and just move it around. Okay, press B, remember, turn on soft selection. You can kind of pull things around, okay, to just make it a little bit more uneven. But this is really going to give the realism to your soft objects. Okay, so have a go at it. Okay, try it out, and right, show me your progress and see what kind of soft selection creation that you can actually create from this kind of technique. Right, there you go, the bedsheet.